Man, since nobody else is gonna say it, I'll be the first to say it. Entrepreneurship sucks, dude. It freaking sucks, dude. Now, before you go and turn this off, just let me tell you this real quick. What a lot of people are not gonna talk about is the fact that entrepreneurship is not something where you just every day is a win, every day is just great, every day is just, oh yeah, I just made 10,000, oh I just made 30,000. It does not work like that. It's a lot of late nights, a lot of payless days. You know how many days I've gone without getting paid from just being an entrepreneur? It took me years to see even the slightest bit of profit. And that's what people are not going to tell you is that, you're going to see videos on TikTok, you're going to see videos on YouTube. Oh, start this business, start this business. Oh, best side hustle in 2022. I'm going to be the first to tell you guys it is not as sweet as it looks. Regardless of whatever business you start, regardless of whatever type of task that you want to do, it really doesn't matter. You are going to have to put in work no matter what. There's no getting around that. And so when I keep seeing these videos of people, they're like, oh, entrepreneurship, it's the greatest thing. It's the best thing. It is not cut for everybody. Not everybody is cut for this life. And I know that's going to stir up some controversy with you guys, but I'm going to be the first to tell you guys, entrepreneurship is not that sweet. It is not that sweet. You're going to go months, you might even go years without ever seeing a dollar. You might continuously keep putting in 5,000, 10,000, 20,000, 30,000. It might be 50,000 that you're down the hole, and then you finally see your profit. It's not just you start something and then you just see some money grow. It's it's honestly kind of a joke at this point that people just think that owning a business, starting an empire is just this fly by night thing and that it's just overnight success. You know how many trials and tribulations I've had just to get to the point where I'm at, and I'm not even close to being what I would call successful. So when I keep seeing these videos online talk about, entrepreneurship is the greatest thing. Oh my gosh, my life is just so good. Behind closed doors, I promise you, I talk to business owners every single day. It is never that sweet. No matter if you're at the top, no matter if you're at the bottom. I've had really great months. I've had really bad days. You know what I mean? So like you're constantly riding this roller coaster. And even like I would say the last 6 months, I've been on a constant roller coaster within my businesses where it's like one day I just feel on top of the world. Like 2 months ago, I felt on top of the world. And now today, even though I'm still, as you could say, motivated inside, it wasn't what it was like 2 months ago. I can tell you that right now. And then, tomorrow might be much different. Next week might different. My point is, it's not easy. And don't ever think, what's that saying? They say something like everything is temporary. And you have to understand that. You have to operate under the mindset when you're a business owner, when you're an entrepreneur, that everything is temporary. Success is temporary, failure is temporary. Everything is going to be up and down for the rest of your journey. It is never just when they say more money, more problems. I'm going to tell you right now, that is not even a joke. If people joke about it, but it's not a joke. Like the more money that you make, the more responsibilities that you have can come with more issues. The more money that we made, the more we had to pay employees, the more people we had to hire, the more overhead we had. And it just is a lot to keep up with. So when you go from, one day, your overhead is just let's say, 5 grand a month. And then a month later, your overhead is 5 grand a week. That's a much different circumstance. So I don't want to get too much into the weeds, but my point is entrepreneurship is not that sweet. People, dress it up to be, this sexy thing. Oh, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a business owner. When I can tell you 90% of people that even say these things, or they say, the funniest thing is when somebody comes to me, they're like, I want to start a business. And I'm like, do you really? Because they see from the outside looking in, they don't see what it takes to get to the level of success. They don't see what it takes to get to the level where you're at the top and you're just kind of overseeing. You're able to put money into investments. You're able to do all these different ventures. You're able to travel. You're able to have time freedom. That takes time and it takes a lot of sacrifice. And that's something that people do not understand. And so again, when I see all these videos on TikTok, on YouTube, talking about, oh, the easiest side hustle of 2022, oh, the easiest way to make 10 grand, the easiest way to make 100 grand, it's like, and I don't mean to be the bearer of bad news, but most people are not cut out for that. Most people will never see 10 grand a month. Most people will never see more than $100,000 a year, point blank period, especially profit. Because making 100,000 a year is much different than your net profit. Let's make that very clear. There's a big distinction between making 100,000 and taking home 100,000. So I just want to leave that with you guys out there who are thinking about, and I don't mean to kind of be that like all negative Nancy, and I'm probably going to get a bunch of comments in over these various platforms that see this little clip here. People are going to probably clip me up, whatever. I don't really care. But at the end of the day, I'm just trying to get people to come back down to reality, because a lot of people are wasting time, they're wasting money, they're wasting energy. And again, not everybody's cut out for this life. I know a bunch of people personally that have told me they've tried. I've watched them try, and they just came back to me and said, "Caleb, this isn't for me," you know? And I'm not saying don't try. I don't want to discourage anybody. I think that being an entrepreneur and being a business owner can be the greatest thing that you've ever done in your life. I mean, it'll teach you. I learned so much more being an entrepreneur than I did in a classroom ever. Point blank, period. I've never learned as much in my entire life. I've never been so motivated. I've never taken so many sacrifices, so many risks. I mean, being in this world, kind of this realm of business ownership, entrepreneurship, has taught me more than I could ever imagine. I could go to school for probably 10 years for, let's just say, business. I promise you, the 3 years that I've been in business have taught me way more. I've taken loss after loss after loss after loss. And that's what I kind of want to bring to you guys, and kind of get on these platforms a little bit more, talk about, our journey and all the losses that we have, because what I don't ever see is people talking about the losses, the down periods. They always say, I made it out the mud. I used to be broke. I was sleeping on the couch, blah, blah, blah. I've never been to that point of where like I'm sleeping on the couch or I'm homeless. I'll be straight up with you guys. One thing that y'all should know about me is I'm very transparent. So that's why I want to come and share my journey with you guys. As we do have multiple operations, I want to tell you guys the good, the bad, the ugly, the neutral, whatever the case may be. And so I just want to kind of provide like a real life example, because you see all these Instagram influencers, all these people who are doing it for the clicks, doing it for the views. And 90% of these people have a goddamn course that they're trying to sell you. So trust me, I've been in the game. I know about funnels. I know how they work. I know the game. People are trying to funnel you to something typically. I mean, even in the YouTube videos, next time you see a YouTube video, somebody talking about a side hustle or whatever, just go in the description. Just look at all their links, all them affiliate links in there. Everybody's selling something at the end of the day. So again, we kind of got a little off topic, but I just want to bring it back to, you guys got to know, entrepreneurship is not that sweet. It is not that sweet whatsoever. Not telling you not to try, but a lot of y'all need to be humbled, and you'll need to understand what it really takes. This life takes a lot of sacrifice. It takes a lot of dedication. It takes a level of relentlessness that you will never experience ever, because you will constantly get knocked down. You might catch a break. Don't get me wrong. You might catch a few breaks here and there. You might get lucky, or as they say, you might create your own luck. But I promise you, the top is temporary. The bottom is temporary. If you have to take one thing away from this video, everything is temporary. I've been where I just felt like I had, I was $1 million. I was like, oh man, I just feel like, I feel like the world. I feel like I'm on top of the world. Everything's great. I got a girl. I got all this money coming in, blah, blah, blah. And then 2 months later, everything flipped. And then 2 months, it's just a constant back and forth. And you got to be able to ride this roller coaster. Entrepreneurship and business ownership is a roller coaster, and you have to understand that. So for all the people out there making these TikTok videos and all these different videos about, 10K a month, or I made 10K a day, I made 30K today, blah, 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 blah. I'm telling you, there's only two scenarios. Either they're capping, which for you who don't know that means that they're lying. But either they're just straight out lying. Like, let's see some receipts, bro. Let's see some statements. But anyway, either they're lying or they're not telling you the full story. They're not telling you that it took them 3 years to get to that point. Or they're not telling you it took them a whole 12 months of just pure, straight out dedication and sacrifice and all the losses they took along the way. Somebody might tell you that, oh, it took me, X amount of time to get here, hard work, blah, 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 blah. But they're not going to tell you, yeah, I lost 10 grand. Oh, on this, I lost 50 grand. You know what I mean? So a lot of people aren't shedding light on all these things that come with being a business owner. I've gone months without seeing a dime from my business, but all my employees are making money. You see what I'm saying? Like, these are things that people don't regularly talk about. I'm not going to say nobody talks about it, but not a lot of people talk about these things when it comes to owning a business, when it comes to entrepreneurship. Like I said, I've gone months, all my partners, both myself and my two partners have gone months without seeing a dime, and our employees are getting paid. And let me spit you this. You're not getting paid, but your employees are, throwing a fit, whatever the case may be. You got to also be strong in this game. If you're weak mentally, either this game is going to tear you down or it's going to build you up tremendously. In entrepreneurship and business ownership, you have to have a strong mind. If you don't, I promise you will get crushed instantly. You have to, day in and day out, people are going to screw you over. And I don't want to hear, in the comments, oh, you mess with these type of people. I've messed with business people from all different aspects, white, black, different religions. It doesn't matter. I've gotten screwed over by everybody. I'm not going to say like everybody that I've done business with, but I'm saying like all demographics. It doesn't matter. Like I said, it doesn't matter if you're white, doesn't matter if you're black, doesn't matter if you're, religious, non-religious. It doesn't matter. Business is business at the end of the day. And I've been screwed over by all demographics. And that's another thing that people aren't going to always talk about. Like, for example, for my, fellow people of the community out there, I've done business with black folks and I've gotten screwed over by black folks. And I've done business with white folks and I've gotten screwed over by white folks. So it doesn't make a difference to me. I don't care what the color of your skin is. I don't do business based off of the color of your skin. That doesn't mean anything to me because I've been screwed over by both communities. So the color of your skin is very irrelevant. And I think a lot of people go wrong by just wheeling out a certain demographic or a certain, if somebody follows certain beliefs, whatever the case may be. Yes, you have to be aligned with somebody, but at the end of the day, it's business. Are we going to do business or not? And are you going to be a good, righteous business owner or a business partner? So those are just kind of some of the things I look for. Again, we do have to be aligned, and we're kind of getting a little off topic. But at the end of the day, these are things that aren't being widely talked about. And I want to bring these things to a lot of people's attention so that people can understand what they're getting into. Because back in 2019, I didn't know what I was getting into. I got, I was seeing Grant Cardone and I'm seeing all these guys and they're just talking about, all these different things. I'm like, man, I'm fired up, And then I get into the game and I'm like, dang, a month's gone by, nothing's happened. 2 months gone by, nothing happened. 6 months gone by, nothing happened. A year goes by, man, I'm still not making money. And these are things that people are not going to talk about openly. And that's what I'm here to share with you guys. I want to share with you guys my journey and my experiences, all the uncomfortable truths that come with being in business, being an entrepreneur, and kind of just figuring out along the way. I went a long time without a mentor. That was a mistake. And so I also want to help you guys kind of find the right way. And so with all that being said, again, entrepreneurship is not that sweet. It looks all sexy on paper. You own your own thing and you're your own boss. But a lot of people are slaves to themselves. This life comes with a lot of late nights, some sleepless nights, a lot of sacrifices, not a whole lot of fun in the beginning. And did I mention sacrifices? Because I cannot begin to start telling you the list of sacrifices I've made for the last 3 years of my entire life. And that's what it takes. There comes to be a point where you have to understand what you're going after. And I feel like a lot of people are getting distracted by the money, the cars, the women or the trips, the jewelry, whatever the case may be, all these material items. But you have to figure out what success truly means to you. You might get drawn in by a TikTok or a YouTube video where you're like, oh man, that kind of sounds like something I'd be into. But you need to dive deeper. You can't just get into business because it looks like a lifestyle that you would enjoy. Because you could come in here and hate every single minute of it. So you have to peel the layers back a little bit and you have to figure out, what do I truly want out of life and what is going to get me there? Is it just money? Is it time freedom? Is it, being able to build something, whatever the case may be? Because I feel like a lot of people shit on W-2 jobs and you'll never hear me like shit on a W-2 worker because they are probably making more than a lot of these entrepreneurs out here, to be quite frank with you, especially after tax, at least the ones who file their taxes. So all that to say, like, I just want you guys to know the realness behind the scenes. And not a lot of people are going to tell both sides of the coin here. And that's what I want to bring to, whether it's YouTube or TikTok, wherever this gets posted. People might clip me up. And like I said, I don't really care. I'm just here to provide value and to share my information and my experiences with you guys. So if there's any questions, leave them in the comments. Feel free to shoot me a DM. I'm most active kind of like on IG, trying to be more active on LinkedIn and Facebook. Y'all can hit me wherever. Like I said, I'm not going to sugarcoat anything for you guys. I'm going to tell you like it is. I'm going to tell you, hey, the way you doing things right now, like there's certain lifestyles that you just can't do. Like if you want to be a true entrepreneur and you're about to start a business, I'm sorry, but you can't go out partying like 3 nights a week. I'm sorry. It's unless you just, for whatever reason, you don't have a job and for the other 4 days out of the week, you're just a savage. I mean, I just don't realistically see that happening. And maybe that's just a personal opinion. I will give y'all that. Like, I guess this could be a personal opinion because I'm kind of on the extreme as far as like sacrifices. Like, I don't go out, don't do really anything. I get, made fun of it. And, my friends joke around with me like, oh, we can't never get you out. But it's because of my vision. And that brings me back to my other point about you have to understand what you're building, why you're doing